talents, and my father just knew how to connect with them and get the most out of them to bring that spark to the Boston Pops concerts. He was an incredible guy. He was a bit of a common man. He was the kind of guy that he'd rather go and hang out on a Saturday morning in a fish store in the North End and buy some fresh fish. Then he would prefer going to some fancy party with a bunch of dignitaries.
These are great. Oh my God, look at that.
He loved Boston. The Esplanade, of course, was his baby, what he developed there. It still carries on today. And I think the people of Boston appreciated what he brought. And I actually feel almost a sense that he's still here, because every morning when I commute to my office, I drive under the arc of the footbridge, I look to my right, and I see his bust out on the Esplanade. And for me, it's almost like, morning, Dad.
It gave me pause to think, hey, wait a minute, that's stepping up in some pretty high company there. And, but I showed up. Arthur was a very funny guy. Salty old dude, but you know what? He knew what he was doing all the time.
Had such an amazing ear. He had such an amazing ability to understand how to take any genre of music and to filter it through the viewpoint of the pops. He single-handedly discovered Leroy Anderson.
We think of the Pops, we think of Leroy Anderson, we think of his light music, which fit the orchestra and fit the mood of Fiedler's concerts. It was done with such skill. I always say that those creations are like Norman Rockwell paintings. They're perfect miniature works of art.
Sometimes these great arrangements really take off. The most famous of them that really took off, and we're still proud to claim ownership, is Sleigh Ride.
Arthur Fiedler, his life fit the shape in a way of the 20th century, the development of commercial recording, the development of television. He was the right age and in the right time and the right place with the right skills, and he belonged to that time and was the embodiment of it in so many ways that he was unique.
Well, I don't know how you're going to remember me. I hope you remembered fairly decently. I want to be remembered the fact that I worked hard to achieve the Esplanade concerts, and I want to be remembered as sort of a decent person.
Arthur Fiedler headed the Pops for 50 years. Who could possibly replace him? The answer? John Williams. Star Wars, Superman, E.T., Jaws, Indiana Jones. Did I say Jaws? That's John Williams. He's got 45 Oscar nominations. That's more than any living person in this universe, or perhaps any other universe. And if that isn't enough, he's also an incredible conductor. And here's something you probably don't know. When he was a little boy, he got to go to Shirley Temple's 6th birthday party. Talk about out of this world. So, when John Williams stepped up to the podium in 1980, the Pops blasted off on a whole new adventure.
When John Williams was named conductor of the Boston Pops, I thought, oh my gosh, what a fantastic idea.
Having John Williams step in at that time was the perfect choice.
He was the one guy that could have come in there and taken over that orchestra from Fiedler and had it not go like this, but just keep ascending.
Playing for John is wonderful because he has such an amazing ear and just such an amazing musical brain.
John came in and his strength, what he knew best was film music.
Of course, he writes wonderful horn parts. He writes these beautiful soaring melodies and love themes and things like that for his movies, and he also writes The Chase and all this stuff has these wild whoops for horns in it, so it's of course very exhilarating to play. It's really a lot of fun. Well, the opportunity to conduct the Boston Pops for me, was a very unique thing because up until that time in my life, I hadn't been a professional conductor, a peer